Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said in Surah ArRahman, ayat 11 and 12, in it are fruits and grape palms, with spades and grain plants with hay. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, fiha fakihatun wa nahlu, ذات الأكمام. In it are fruits, that is fruit vines, and date palms having spades. وَالْهَابُ ذُو الْعَزْفِ وَالرَّيْحَانُ, and straw-covered grain fields and scented plants. And number 13, فَبِأَيِّ آلَاءِ رَبِّكُمَا تُكَذِّبَانِ. So, which are the blessings of your Lord that you deny? This question in ayah number 13 is addressed to man and jinn who are endowed with a free will. In the previous ayah, that is ayah number 10, that is, وَالْأَرْضَ وَالْأَيَا لِلْأَنَامِ. The earth has been set up for the cattle, and He has set up the earth for cattle grazing. Here we took the earth for the nerves. As such, the ayah means, this ayat mean that Allah has gifted human nerves with planations of ilm, that is divine knowledge of different kinds. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala assigns different attributes to taqwa or devotion. As the believer comes closer and closer to Him, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the quality of the nerves thus get transformed into becoming purer and purer to the nerves of the believer who has established salah or prayer, and who gives zakat, which means distribution from the material and the spiritual portions Allah has given to him. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala presents taqwa of mizan or balance, taqwa of balance of mizan is given to such person. His dealings become poised between the requirements of this world and those of the other world. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has prescribed fasting to that nerves so that the intellectual fulcrum of mizan tilts more towards the spiritual commodities. He becomes more spiritual. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala covers that nerves with a taqwa of decorative clothing, so that the physical being is more often inclined towards the mystical interior. He sees Rahman in the inner and the outer ayah of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He embarks on a life of pilgrimage, living on the meager portions of journey, when within his portions is the most valuable present of taqwa for submitting to Allah. Pleased with that present, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala transforms taqwa of the beloved servant into a spiritual garden, grown with heavenly grapes, dates, grains, and varieties of spices and vegetables. The nerves eats from this garden of spiritual knowledge or ilm and distributes from it to the needy. The fruits stand for fruits of grapevines that droop to the ground with the heaviness of its berries. The mind is like the vulnerable vine that falls in prostration on the ground of the nerves, laden heavily with the iman. The nerves that eats those fruits of iman becomes charged to high spiritual levels. However, it is susceptible to withering if left unprotected. So, initial stages of iman need to be protected in the shades of taqwa. For this, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has grown plantations of date palms on the fringes of vineyards. The date fruits are protected by spades, unlike the grapes that are naked. The grapefruits are naked or without the protective cover, warding off outside aggression. The ilm from iman influences the mind, causing emotional integrity. The ilm derived from taqwa influences the intellect, making it sharp and free. The wavering mind on losing iman is made to regain its balance by taqwa. Between the graveyards and the date plantations are the fields of grains. The yields of grains are protected from external attacks by the hay covering the spikes. Their husks need to be removed before use as food. They need to be cleaned and cooked with water before consumption. Pearls of spiritual knowledge thus lie incorruptible within the ayat of the Qur'an that hold a truth camouflaged to look different. These abstract ayat, the Qur'an categorizes as ayat mutashabiha. They are collected by removing the outer protective cover that thwarts the eyes of the kuffar. The innermost husks that closely safeguard the content are removed with utmost care, keeping the totality intact. This is done by the blessed alim, that is the scholar, whom Allah is pleased with. They are stored in bonds of spiritual memory and distributed to the needy. In times of famine created by the training of Rahman, the mercy of Allah, owing to massive injustice, the ulama use these talks of ilm in order to regain justice and peace, law and order through spread of truth. Thus they avert the wrath of Allah. The seeds of berries and dates are distinct from its edible, fleshy portion. Such kinds of knowledge that are akin to assimilation by the mind and the brain are embedded in clear and open ayat of the Qur'an called ayat al-Muhakkama. The ripe fruits can be consumed straight away. Like the dates, the knowledge that is processed by the intellect can be stored for a long time in the physical memory. In the grains, the seed, the edible fruit and the edible fruit are not discernible, indicating its complexity. This spiritual knowledge is the food of the nerves cooked by itself. It is cooked in the vessel of the qalb, in the water of Rahman. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala creates the alim with his nur. The nur imparts the energy for cooking. The Qur'an transforms the alim into the source of Rahman. In the garden, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has gifted to the alim. There are spices, vegetables, and plants that yield condiments that are needed for curry making. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala called them the raihan-scented plants. They are used to prepare the curry or dish to be mixed with cooked meals of grains, imparting taste and flavor in consumption. They are basira, or spiritual insights that emerge connecting the ayat, revealing the direction to truth. The ayat are akin to the guiding stars, which the captain of the ship uses to connect in his map to find his direction to the destination. The garden of palm in everlasting spring encompasses the whole being, enlightening every one of the faculties. This is the ayat holding ilm, salvation. ArRahman marks the ayat with the ayat that follows. That ayat containing the garden of grapes, dates, and grains. That marks the ayat of salvation. He subhanahu wa ta'ala poses a question to the man, and the jinn are hearing in the ayat that follows. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala asks, فَبِأَيِّ آلَاءِ رَبِّكَ مَا تُكَذِّبَانِ? Then which of the blessings of your Rabb do you refuse? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala asks the same question 31 times in the same surah, thereby revealing its extraordinary gravity over and over. He subhanahu wa ta'ala nods on human consciousness to usher in enlightenment. The ayat is a reminder of the occasion before the beginning of human journey on earth, when the Creator Rabb posed the basic question to human nafs, asking, "Am I not your Rabb?" And the subsequent word that binds the nafs with the Rabb, which arose through the answer of yes. Man is repeatedly exhorted to leave ghafla or indifference, carelessness, and see the heaven and hell ahead. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala shows up the rahmah He has bestowed on man in this dunya, the ever-destructive fire of the hell for rejecting the Rabb, and the ever-renewing rewards of heaven for the faithful, and asks, فَبِأَيِّ آلَاءِ رَبِّكَ مَا تُكَذِّبَانِ? Some minds hearing this may cry out in terror. Some brains may be opened from the impact of that question, and some nerves may have gardens opened in the vastness of tranquility. These words in the form of a question serves as an attractive crown on the verse of moksha. The verse of moksha that is the two verses of moksha, that attributes the garden, heavenly garden, to the nafs. It is the 13th ayah, that question, فَبِأَيِّ آلَاءِ رَبِّكَ مَا تُكَذِّبَانِ? Before the 12th ayat, this ayat does not appear because those foregoing ayat mention the paths leading to the ilm of salvation in the 12th ayah, 11th and 12th ayah, or the culmination of the paths leading to moksha. The question marks the culmination of guidance is to moksha. The ayat of moksha, 2 ayahs, verses of moksha. Those who are bestowed with the taqwa answer the question with humility by following the prophetic tradition of performing 40 rak'ah of additional prayers over the 70 rak'ah of other prayers, thus tallying the total rak'ah to 31. The consequences of rejecting Allah's call are mentioned in equal numbers in Surah Al-Waqiyah, which is known as the prayer of Surah ArRahman. This is the final path of direction as revealed in earlier scriptures. The Holy Qur'an completes the means of salvation in these texts. In these ayah, by revealing the ultimate truth of Haqqul Yaqeen, the absolute truth. Haqqul Yaqeen means Surat al-Mustaqim, the path of nur, the path of light. Allahu A'lam.